Hello internet. 안녕하세요 여러분, 저는 에미입니다 and I'm back doing another reaction video for you. Dan Howell's Basically I'm Gay reaction. Chapter 3, Internalized Oppression.
From this moment I was no longer advertising myself as bi. No, BRB, deleting that MySpace real quick, exiting get on that Bebo. My Chemical Romance? No, I'm listening to, what's this? N-dubs, Jesus Christ. I go away for the summer break and come back to school quiet and serious and fully straight. I needed me some new friends that were a bit higher up the social ladder, you know what I'm saying, for security, so I go ahead and join the in-betweeners. Literally, this group of friends, the exact middle ground between nerds and desperately wanting to be cool. And oh, how desperate we were. The great thing about these friends was they knew loads of girls, so firstly, instant cool points. Secondly, if I date a girl, super not gay. The problem with that was, it's not like everyone just forgot everything that's been said about me, and this group of friends, casually homophobic pretty much all the time, and also they hung out in places near some even more aggressive and super homophobic peeps. Just full-time RuneScape would have been better in hindsight. I find myself going through the same shit at school, but now voluntarily going through it at the weekends from the people that are supposed to be my friends, thinking I'm doing the right thing whilst constantly telling myself I'm now totally heterosexual. So I did what many people choose to do at that point, and I got a girlfriend. But this is pretty messed up, because I really liked this girl. In fact, I loved her as a friend, and I was genuinely attracted to her, but I was so afraid of sexuality, I didn't even want to do anything straight in case I had some weird gay panic, that I was totally frigid, and I led her on. And when she got pissed at me, understandably, for being a terrible boyfriend, I just felt even worse. This was someone who I liked, that I was hurting and lying to. But I couldn't leave, as then I'd have no armor. The beautiful irony here is having a girlfriend didn't in any way stop the abuse, because remember, gay is a great all-purpose general insult. Call someone gay today and we'll throw in a free set of steak knives. And when these neighborhood teens started heavy drinking and getting into drugs, things suddenly got quite scary, as people joked about setting fire to a tent as I slept in it at Reading Festival, or saying, you know that notoriously unstable guy? Yeah, he said he's gonna kill you next Saturday. Awkward. This was definitely the lowest point in my life. I just felt totally alone, confused, and I deeply hated myself. I used to ask God, in case he was there, to please just make me straight and everyone stop. But I saw no end, no escape, no way to change the world or who I was, so one evening I thought, fuck it, and I attempted suicide. I say attempted because just before it was too late, I thought. Felt kind of bad for a few days, otherwise I pretended it never happened, and I didn't tell anyone. Until now. Literally.
Wow. Honey.
I know, pretty dark, right? But hey, spoiler, things kind of worked out. I mean, still got a lot of issues, but here I am.
Oh my god.
I'm so glad I failed, for so many reasons. For the people in my life, for the future I would have wasted. The most important being that I thought I was trapped in a situation forever, when in reality, the entire world I lived in and my life changed completely. I thought it was hopeless, when in reality, there was so much to hope for. And that's it. Time changes everything. With the lives that we have, we can try anything we've dreamed of. I want anyone that's ever felt like this to realize you are never trapped. There is always hope. You just need to believe in yourself and get to the other side. So yeah, school, age 6 to 18. I'm gonna give that a bad Google review. The thing is, I did stand out. I've always been a loudmouth, class clown, annoying shit. Since graduating, turns out half the people I knew were fucking gay. That group of friends I had, all lovely people now, 5 of them were gay. 5 gays. That is statistically irregular. Oh, but they flew under the radar. All I'm saying is, I wish people just hated me for being annoying and immature. Leave the gays alone! My light at the end of the tunnel was university. I was gonna get my A-levels, move to a new town, and ghost these bitches. But I took a gap year first to earn some money, which was very boring, sitting at home and working at Asda, where I was not happy to help. My shift started at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. I signed up for a Twitter account to run my mouth off, and then BAM!
So, my name is Dan.
My YouTube story begins. A new chapter of my life to redefine. So you know what I do? Get a form spring, because nothing gives you that attention feeling like one of those anonymous question and answer websites that are inherently toxic and no one should use. And straight out of the bat, bisexual Dan returns. Because hey, just like MySpace, I'm only telling a few people on the internet right now. It's not like one day I'm gonna get so many followers that random strangers in my family might see it. Wow, I had a lot of fun with many different kinds of people in 2009. Let's just say I got a lot out of my system. Got a couple of things in my system too. And this is when, through the magic of the internet, I met Phil. And obviously we were more than friends, but it was more than just romantic. This is someone that genuinely liked me. I trusted them, and for the first time since I was a tiny child, I actually felt safe. And the relationship we formed at that point was something that I needed in my life. We are real best friends, companions through life, like actual soulmates. Not that souls are a real thing that exists. I'm so lucky to just find someone you can be that compatible with. And especially to anyone that has experienced the kind of self-hatred that I've dealt with, one person accepting you can make all the difference. And I bet so many people want to know so much more about that, which honestly, I take as a compliment, but here's the thing. I'm somebody that wants to keep the details of my personal life private.
Yes.
So is Phil. I know lots of people these days, thanks to social media, want to share and monetize every aspect of their life, and then as soon as something changes, suddenly it's this huge drama because everybody got invested in the story of your life like it's a soap opera. I don't want that. I want to do certain things without an audience.
Yes.
I want to be spontaneous. I don't want to feel afraid to take risks. I want to enjoy totally fucking something up and not have to post a public statement about it. And if anyone thinks people really have to share these things about their life, you need to rethink your position. And look, I understand that sex is a fun and interesting thing to talk about. I get it. I'm also a disgusting pervert. But the specific minutiae of who I'm fucking, when, why, where, how long, how... Sexuality is a general fact that it can be very useful to know about a person for several reasons, but we can't force people to disclose that either. We don't know this person's life story, what they've been through, if they haven't told people, if they'll lose their job, if they're in danger. There are so many reasons someone might not be open about it. We can preach the message that being out is good, but aggressively speculating or trying to out someone is really bad. They might not be gay, in which case we're just harassing someone and probably stereotyping, and if they are, there's gonna be a reason why they haven't talked about it. So I don't want to see any responses to me finally talking about this, like...
No one is surprised.
Dan, we've been new.
Wow, you huge galaxy brain genius. What's it like walking around with all those brain cells in there, working overtime? What, you got like 3 in there? Don't lose your balance, mastermind. I haven't exactly been subtle, have I? I'm an awkward, sexually ambiguous nerd. What the fuck even is your sexuality? That's not the point. I'm already dead inside, so it doesn't matter here, but to me, if someone's reaction to a person coming out is just, yeah, I knew, they're showing no empathy towards the issue or that person. They're just making it about themselves like it was a fun piece of gossip they already knew. All we have to do is listen and be accepting. So anyway, back to the tale. Whilst things were looking up for Dan, aged 18, things quickly got messy again. Wow, that beats the emo streak of temporary self-acceptance by like 6 months. Nice. There was a point around 2011 where the relationship with my audience shifted from what felt like direct communication between me and individuals that just saw me as a comedy creator to communities of people that formed to talk about me when I wasn't there, which is fine, but for some people it was about getting generally invested in me and my real life, which I thought was a bit strange because inevitably, like anyone who puts themselves out there, some people started to really dig into my private life to find out information about me that I wasn't ready to share. And this was around the same time that YouTubers finally started to get mainstream recognition in the British press. We had the BBC knocking at our door trying to offer Dan and Phil a radio show. From that, Dan and Phil became this entertainment duo that we could have a creative career with, and we love working together. So when all these opportunities came for Dan and Phil, we were really excited, but I was also scared as people clearly knew I wasn't straight, and I hadn't told my family that. None of my old friends knew about this, and what me and Phil had was ours and personal, and yet some people were trying to get access to it for their own satisfaction. It was no longer a few people on the internet, no big deal, so I just shut down. It felt like I was back at school again, surrounded by threatening people trying to expose me for their entertainment.
Hate people.
Most, I'm sure, just wanted what was best for me, and I feel such genuine sadness, and I'm sorry that I couldn't be closer to and more truthful with the people in my life that were just trying to be nice, but I wasn't ready to deal with it at this time, so I had to do something to contain it. I definitely sent some mixed messages. Some were just joking around, others were super defensive that in my panic came across like, I'm now telling everyone I'm totally straight, when all I really meant was, please fuck off and don't invade my privacy, you creepy stalkers, thank you. But this experience seriously triggered some PTSD in me. And I was back in that dark place. I didn't want to just disappear from the internet to escape it and throw away this creative hobby that actually started paying rent, thanks. So I just decided to put anything to do with my sexuality in a box to come back to later, as I was still processing my past, and I wanted to understand my identity on my own terms and timeline, and not just have it hijacked as fuel for people's sexual fantasies or some headline in an article. And whilst we're not exactly living in a utopia yet here on YouTube, the general internet culture only 5 or 6 years ago was a much less wholesome, progressive place as this little bubble is now. Sure, a lot of people probably would have been supportive, but there was just as much open bigotry and general toxicity because people felt less accountable, and it was okay to say certain things because it's just on the internet, and I couldn't handle that at the time. And generally, I can handle a lot. I have big hands with a very wide reach. For playing piano, you fucking... Get your mind out of the gutter. We can't ask people to just put their lives on hold to address their sexuality first. If a kid dreams of being a footballer, and age 18 gets signed to a club and all their dreams come true, but they're scared to come out because of the insane homophobia in that community, they shouldn't turn it down. Yes, it's so important to be truthful about who you are and open and proud in front of the world, but it's our society's fault that these people are scared to say who they are. So let's all focus on making it a welcoming place, and people will come out when they are ready.
Yeah.
So when was I ready? Well, it's always been on my mind that I need to talk about this at some point. I couldn't just keep going forward in my life ignoring it, not only just so I can be authentic, which is very important for general existing, but also just letting people know what kind of sexual attention I want from the world. All of it, from everyone. God, I'm so thirsty. And if anything motivated me, it's the idea that I can help someone else, because that's basically my whole career, isn't it? Admitting to shit that I've been through so you will feel better about yourselves. There we go, you're welcome. I have a platform and a following of millions of people, many of whom I know have been through exactly what I have. And if I tell my story, as painful and flip-floppy and flawed as it is, I know it will mean something to someone, as every time someone speaks openly about sexuality, it saves lives. I'd never met a single out gay person until I was 18. And if I had, or even just seen better representation in the media, I wouldn't have felt so totally alone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be saying this to you now if it wasn't for TV shows, musicians and public figures in the last couple years reinforcing this to me. It doesn't matter if I was living the life privately, as there was still so much confusion about my feelings and fear. But things are better now. On the internet, on TV, in my real life. It's not perfect, but it feels safe enough in this space right now for me to feel confident. So thank you, sincerely, to all the brave people that came before me, and to any of you that made this world seem welcoming for me. And instead of procrastinating from this by focusing on work, which was a way for me to ensure my own independence and survival in case I was rejected, or just doing things for other people to take my mind off it instead of asserting my own needs, which my therapist keeps telling me is one of my biggest problems, here I am with a fresh void of time in front of me to fuck up however I want. Now look, we all have different experiences in life. Some of us are lucky, some of us not. It just so happened that the first 18 years of my life were horrendously shit. It failed me. But we get dealt cards from the start too. If you look at my life, I was born into this world as an able-bodied, white, cis man in Britain, which immediately gives me so much privilege in this current world, and I am fully aware of how much harder making it to today could have been for me, which is why we all need to stand up for equality and social justice, even if it doesn't apply to us. No one stood up for me when it mattered the most, and that almost cost me everything. So if you see a woman being harassed, a gay being threatened, someone muttering something racist, say something, do something, because if you're still or silent, the victim will just think that you are against them too. We all have a responsibility. This tale was just some of the stuff relating to sexuality. We all have a whole sob story if we want to tell it, but I just wanted to explain the journey of how I got to this point and overcame the obstacles that tried to block this path. And now, I've arrived.
Okay. Oh, so much happened in that last chapter. So first of all, you saw I did get excited when he was talking about the whole him and Phil and then all of that stuff. That again, so he did mention in there that he has personal things that he doesn't want to talk about, which is completely understandable and normal. I mean, it would be wonderful to know that he had a boyfriend. If it was Phil, then I would be very happy. If it wasn't Phil, then whatever. I'm not gonna pry into his personal life. I am a fangirl and I do really love Dan and Phil, and I mean, there is that part of me that is just like, oh my god, are they together? Are they together? Are they together? That's gonna be so cool. Oh my god, tell me. But I mean, that is like pushed aside when it's like, yes, that I would love to know as a fan of Dan and as a fan of Phil and as a fan of Dan and Phil. It's their life. It's their life. If they're together, then they're together. They don't need to tell us that. As long as both of them are happy and healthy, then nothing else should matter to us. Nothing else should matter to the world. Nothing else should matter to the people who actually love and care about them. Whether that be me, who is all the way in Australia, who has never ever met them, but has been a fan of theirs and watched their videos for so long, or their family, or their close personal friends who they have, and just, yes. Also, I am so sad. It's such a big thing to tell at least a snippet of that kind of bit, that part of your life where he felt like he was in a place where he just couldn't do anything and attempted to kill himself. I mean, in my life, some people very, very close to me have been in that situation, and it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. I know too many people in that situation. Luckily, they were all failed attempts, but still, I'm not gonna get into that because that is not something that I wanna share and talk about a lot. And also, a lot of them, they're not my story to tell. It's not my story or my place to tell that. This is making me like laugh and want to cry. I love you, Dan. I love you. I support you. I would have stood up for you. I will stand up for you. If there are any negative comments that I see or anything like that towards you, or honestly towards anyone, it's just the kind of person I am. I do stand up for people. I will stand up for you. I will stand strong and I will protect you like you are my son, even though you are older than me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did like it, press the like button, leave some comments down below, share this on social media if you would like to. All of my social media links are down below, so go check me out, follow me, friend me on all of those. If you'd like to leave any requests or suggestions for more videos that you'd like to see on my channel, then please let me know down below and I'll get to your comments as soon as I can. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. Kirby face!